because I want to hit this now. This Bronny James story. They were doing on NBA Today. They were doing a mock draft, and they started to talk about Bronny James and where he's going to go. Probably no surprise to people. But then there was a nice little nugget that was dropped by, I think, it's Jonathan Giovanni, who is a draft express in the NBA. And listen to what they had to say on NBA Today about the draft status of one Bronny James.
I don't think it'll surprise anybody that we have him 55th to the Lakers. This has been...
I mean, that's a big deal.
This is the way that it's been trending for years now. NBA teams that I talk to say they cannot get Bronny James into their building. Mm-hmm. Teams that are drafting in the late 20s and the 30s. The Phoenix Suns have a second workout scheduled with Bronny later this week. But other than that, we have not seen any NBA team be able to work him out. The sense among teams is that his agent, Rich Paul, does not want him on a two-way contract. And the range that he's going to be picked, that 40 to 58 range, those are where two-way contracts are handed out. So it's looking right now like Bronny James is going to slide there to 55. I don't think any NBA team wants to, pick him and deal with the repercussions of that. So that's the way it's trending as of today.
All right, Patrick, we talked about this earlier, but so is this essentially Bronny James telling teams, don't draft me?
I mean, this is the James camp. I don't think Bronny James has a lot of say in a lot of this. I think this is kind of stuff that Rich Paul, because LeBron James doesn't have to say it. Rich Paul can say it as his agent, which is, we're getting you the most money. We're going to get you the best situation. Do you want to play in the G League and ride on buses? No. Well, then let me work what I do, and I'll get you on a contract, which means you're going to be on the jet. You'll be in the charter. You'll be, riding with the team, and you'll be part of the NBA team. You'll probably never see a minute of playing time in the NBA. And if you do, you'll be a human victory cigar. You'll be the one that comes in at the end of the game. It'll hurt your career more than if you went to the G League, but we don't care about that. We want the money right now, and we're going to pretend that you're going to be good enough, and you will figure it out. Like, there's something to be said about trying to do something so proactive to make sure he's taken care of. And if you put him on the Lakers and LeBron retires in a year, I mean, it was career less than a year, then he's out of the league. And then maybe a G League team if he wants to come back. But there's a certain factor into it of, do you want playing time to get better? You're not staying in college. You're not going to play. You're not good enough to play in the NBA right now.
NBA yet.
Like, you're just not. And I mean, not a lot of rookies are. So it's not even a shot of whatever, but a second round pick that is a questionable second round pick in a weak draft is usually not going to be good enough to get 5 to 10 minutes a game. And if that's what they want, then he can't, then go to the G League and then you can play and you'll get more playing time. But if you don't want to be on that two-way contract because you don't want to be going up and down, that's going to be the problem. Then you're just going to be hanging out with your dad on the bench at Lakers games. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe that's where they'll end up. But I mean, and if I'm the Lakers, I'm a little skeptical too. I don't really want to keep him on I don't want to have him on my roster all season. Like, we need as much help as we can get.
Yeah.
We need to find some other players. We need to try guys out. We can't give a roster spot away for your buddy who happens to be your son, but it's just another spot that there's, I know you want him to be able to play and get better, but he's not going to get playing time. So it's a questionable decision of, I know you don't want him on a two-way contract, but if you don't, how is he going to get playing time in the NBA? Now it makes sense that he doesn't want to go try out. He doesn't want to be on a team that is only drafting him to get LeBron to come over. And if they don't draft him, he's basically going to be sent away and they don't care because, a lot of second-round picks. It's one of those reasons why you tell people to go back to college, is that a second-round pick in the NBA is you better earn it on your own. The team is probably not going to help you make it.
Yeah.
The coaches aren't going to care as much. The GM's not going to care as much. No one says you missed that second-round pick. That's not a thing in the NBA where that's a really bust of a second-round pick. So it's on you to make it at that point. You have to go down to the G League. You have to be able to, earn your own way up there and earn your own way onto the roster. But for Bronny James, I think there's somewhat of a positive to it of, yes, you may get in, you may get the contract, you may be able to get on to, be able to practice with these guys. But what happens when you show up at practice day one and you turn the ball over 14 times in practice and you just can't score and there's nothing you can really do when all that happens in practice 1 and 2? What happens when you go to summer league and you are not one of the top players at summer league and you're just an okay defender at summer league Is there a point where you realize, oh no, we've done everything to have this myth that I'm going to be this really good player, but I'm not going to be because I need to work, and maybe I will be down the road, but I'm just not ready yet. I'm also shorter than they said I need to be, which is a real problem because if you're under 6'3" in the NBA, you better be elite, or it's going to be hard to stay in the league. And that's where they're going to press him. People are going to go after him. The same thing you see. And Caitlin Clark's amazing, and they're going after her. You don't think people are going to go after Bronny?
Oh, man, no doubt.
You know how hard I had to work to get here? And you got gifted this?
Yeah.
Players are going to go after him too, and every time he gets on the field, someone's going to try and steal the ball from him and get him right back on that bench. Mm-hmm. The same way they go after Giannis on the Bucks. They know he shouldn't be in the game, and so they'll go and try and steal the ball from him right away because they know they can't. So it's going to be an interesting experiment because as much as you're trying to play the game one way, you have to ask, is this the best way for Bronny, or do you realize he's got no shot in the NBA anyway? So let's just do this
and get him a check.
Let's get him a check. Get him
paid.
And let's see what we can do. And then we'll hope Bryce James, that'll be a different story. So it's interesting.
It is. It's right. It's drama. And I guess it'll be good for the ratings of the draft. As you pointed out, they will have the second round of the draft is on another day, separately. But you're right. That's a great point about whether this is the best for Bronny James. He probably just needs to be. The G League seems like the perfect situation for him.
Yeah, a two-way contract. If you play really well, they can call you back up, and you go up and down. And
at least you get to work your craft.
You get to play, man. Playing time's so important in basketball. It's just really, really important. It's important in every sport. You just want to get some playing time and get reps. And I mean, I don't know what roster he's going to get playing time on.
Yep, no, that's a great point, man. You would think that with LeBron, like getting his son paid is great, but money shouldn't matter that much. Getting him paid, maybe just the achievement of, hey, I made an NBA roster.
I was drafted, but again,
I was drafted.
But that's like it's a lot of short-sighted things, and I've dealt with a lot of people that, man, I just want to achieve this. Like, really, do you not think you're better than that? See, if you don't think you're better than that, then why am I wasting my time helping you out and doing everything? If you think you're good enough, then I'll work with you and we can try and make you great. But if you just think, nah, I'm not that great. So if you just get me drafted and then I'll have this fake award that I only got that because my dad's LeBron James, and what's the point?
Yeah.
It's like if you think you're great, and I can't imagine that a James thinks he's not great, that it seems like, no, go prove it. Go tell your dad. Don't hey, drop Rich Paul's in it. I don't care. Draft me if you want to draft me. I'll go work out for every team. I'll go prove that I belong in the league. I'd go do that before I would. And now, if I don't believe it, if I just think, man, just get me in there, I don't want to ride it.
I'll be lucky to make it. Yeah.
And let's put it this way. If he doesn't want to ride on a bus, have fun in LA for 2 years.
Can do that anyway, though.
But he won't be on the jet. He won't be on the
jet. But say you're Bronny James. But you're right. Good point about that. I mean, she just doesn't like the lifestyle of the grind of the G League life. That's something he doesn't want to live.
What's Sark say? Sacrifice versus investment. Mm-hmm. Invest
in yourself. Yeah, invest in yourself and bet on yourself anytime you can. No, good stuff there, Patrick.